white fiberglass truck canopy. No cracks or broken windows. Needs new struts for glass gate. Off a long box, 8 foot 3 inches long, approximately 69.5 wide, outside to outside. $100. Hello world, this is George. Early in the morning, cold morning, and I'm on my way to a place where somebody's selling a canopy for $100. A canopy for this truck. That's going to be exciting because, you know, as a handyman, I need a place for my tools that stays dry even when it's snow outside. So that's what this is for. And hopefully I can fix it up in a way that I can lock it. Not that I want to keep a lot of tools in there because it's never 100% safe, but you know, sometimes you don't get a chance to take it all out every time, and it's good to have something. Yeah, the question was, do I really want to drive all the way out to Millet, which is, I want to say, about 70 kilometers from our house. It's a long drive, and it's only been a few days that I actually got the truck insured and the license plate on it and everything, and I haven't really even done a good test drive with it yet. But hey, what could be better for an old truck to try it out than just go for a longer drive? So here I was, headed for Millet, Alberta. It's a beautiful day, and it's actually the first time I'm driving this truck out of town, away from Edmonton. And so far, the impression is still really good. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it, I have to say. So at the moment I got my Sony camera supported on the tripod, and it's just sitting on the passenger side floor there. It's not ideal. I can't take the corners too fast like that, and it's probably not 100% kosher, but you know, for this video I thought I want to take you along on the first longer ride with this truck. So after working on this truck all summer and most of the fall, sometimes it seemed like it was never going to run like this. After an hour or so drive, I arrived at the seller's place, and I found the canopy to be in good shape for $100. I also consider myself lucky that the seller was very, very helpful. And he even pointed out a crack on the canopy that didn't appear in the ad. Here we're just measuring my box to make sure to put the foam strip in the right location. I'd be at 66 3/4. If it's the middle. So this thing was actually a lot heavier than I remembered, but maybe that's a good thing. What do you think? I know one thing, I wouldn't have been able to put this on myself. The clamps that I had bought at Canadian Tire seemed a little small for this kind of canopy. And also the fiberglass base looked a lot thicker than I had expected. So as it turned out, these clamps, they don't open wide enough. This canopy, it's got a super heavy base that is made of like fiberglass, And the ad that I saw on Marketplace, to me it looked like this might have been aluminum, but it is actually very thick and heavy, so I need bigger clamps. And I'm going to keep the 2 clamps I unpacked and just put them in the middle with bigger bolts. That's the idea. I'm at a Canadian Tire store in Wetaskiwin, Alberta, about 80 some odd kilometers from home. So what I got is just a beefier version of this, and I keep this set and hopefully put it in the middle. I got some longer bolts, 2 sets actually, so that should be sufficient. Yeah, there's always something, you know. What could possibly go wrong? Well, even if you don't even think about stuff, you know, Murphy's Law will find something. So first trip on the road with this truck, going far. Like, the weather is okay, but it's kind of windy, and I could see that there's storms in the area, so this canopy has to be on there really well. It's freaking heavy, guys. It's heavier than the one I had, I believe, and it's good for this truck, I guess, because it's a 2-wheel drive. So in the wintertime, if there's a bit more weight on the rear axle, it's going to help. But at the same time, gas mileage is going to drop, I think. But yeah, maybe it's not as big a deal as I think about it. I think my wooden one that I had on the other one with wood and plastic was actually kind of light compared to this. Is that even possible? I mean, I built a wooden frame and then I put plastic over it. And it lasted me for 10 years, but it actually cost more than this thing is going to cost me. And of course, I had to replace the cover, the tarp or whatever. At the end, I had corrugated plastic on there and I had to replace it every 2 or 3 years. It was kind of a pain, you know. Attempt number 2. What could possibly go wrong this time around? Well, let's see. Looks good so far. All right, going home now. Yeah, it's quite a drive. We're not very close to home. The canopy fit as good as expected, and those bigger clamps made all the difference. There's still the 2 smaller clamps in the middle with slightly longer screws, and I think in total there are 6, which should be sufficient. I'm very happy. This thing is good. It's a little bit higher than most of them, and well, it adds some weight to the back of the truck, so I'm less likely to get stuck in the winter. And what else? I guess it adds a little bit of aerodynamics too, even though I'm not going to hold my breath about gas mileage. But that's exactly what I need. So that's awesome. So guys, it's past 2 o'clock here and I'm back in Edmonton. I'm going to try and return these 2 clamps that I couldn't use. I'm at the Canadian Tire where I got them from, and the only thing I don't have is the receipt, but I have the credit card that I used for paying them, so I'm going to try to return them. But while I'm here, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to check it out for myself because it's too fresh for me to actually sink in what I got in the back of my truck there. So let's go outside, walk around. Yeah, this thing is seized, so I'm gonna have to take care of that. This window is large, but it's a little bit tinted already. So what I'm gonna do is put some probably darker tint on there eventually. And even these windows are somewhat tinted. The gaskets here, well, they just need to be repositioned a bit. I guess this one shrunk a little bit, but let's back off a little bit and see what this actually looks like. Yeah, the truck still looks like hell in the back, but it looks like the side is a little bit wider than the truck is, but I think that's totally fine. Take a peek inside here. So I got 3 clamps on each side. The middle one is the one that I had at first. On the right side I had to put some washers to shim it, and then on each end there's the bigger one. Yeah, it needs to be cleaned up, that's for sure, top and bottom. Got a little bit of cracking here. I don't think that even matters. So guys, I'm quite happy about this. Got a Canopy, cost about $100. Now I'm counting the gas to get there as part of the expense, because the guy actually dropped the price to $80, so it is totally worth it. He also told me that there were actually 2 other guys inquiring about it, but I was lucky because I was the first one that contacted him. And yeah, for some reason he said he dropped the price to $80 that he told somebody else, but then the other person never committed to coming out or whatever. So it was a good thing I went there today. So now I'm going to go into the Canadian Tire store and I'm going to see if I can return those 2 clamps. And then I probably go home and finish some other work that I started. You want to see what it is? Oh yeah, let's have a look. See, this is a rocker panel that I made up yesterday. It's got metal screws here and it's also stuck on with JB Weld. Seems to be cured now. Of course it's on bare metal, but it's rock solid. The next step for that is to probably grind off these screw heads, put some fiberglass putty on there, and then once that is dry, I could put some primer, and finally a coat of the truck bed liner, and that's also going to be well protected. Hopefully it won't rust out again under my watch. So hey, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up like usual, and if you're not a subscriber to my channel, you might want to do that, and you might want to check out my playlist that's all about this truck. I've been working on this all year. See you in the next one.